Hey everybody, welcome to What Up Baltimore. Thank you so much for being on with us tonight. Yep, we're still doing stuff from home because, as you all know, we are dealing with the coronavirus. So it is nothing that we can do about that right now. The only thing we can do is just be at home, have fun, continue on with our daily life, and just make stuff happen. So tonight, I have a very special guest. His name is Taurus Barksdale. I'm about to bring him on, everybody. And the thing that happened is that a lot of people that I was scheduled to interview, the coronavirus hit, and then I just had to say goodbye to the schedule. So I got Taurus on tonight. We're going to be bringing some other people on that I had previously had scheduled. They'll be coming on. So I'm going to bring Taurus Barksdale on. What I need you guys to do is to share this video, let everybody know that What Up Baltimore is on, and we're talking to the councilman. He's running for councilman, Taurus Barksdale. So I'm going to bring him up, everybody, so we can talk to him. Hey, Taurus, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, you are welcome, man. I'm so glad to get you on because it's been the struggle of the coronavirus, so we haven't been able to do much. But through technology, thank goodness, I had to get all of this stuff. Okay, because I see you out there with you still out there working, you still out in the trenches, and I'll be looking at you sometime. I'm like, Lord, please protect them because you never stop. You still there. So how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I can't complain. Every day we just steadily working. I got my gallon of water. Been trying to,
Okay.
stay hydrated, stay healthy. But every day, I'm outside working. And like you said, I am taking, precautionary measures, just to keep myself safe.
Yeah, make sure, Taurus, because we don't want you to get sick out there, because this thing is serious. So just make sure you keep yourself covered and everything while you're out there. So, what are some? I've been watching you because I always follow you all the time, and I see that you're out in the neighborhoods. You're still getting the trash and all of that stuff. Well, first, before we go there, some people don't know who you are because we have people that are not from Baltimore. So tell us a little bit about Taurus Barksdale, about your education and what you're all the way up to what you're currently doing right now.
Okay. Taurus Barksdale, born and raised in Northwest Baltimore. That's an area. I went to school there. I didn't go to high school in Northwest Baltimore because I always had a passion for law. So I went to high school in Northeast Baltimore, Reginald F. Lewis High School of Business and Law. And at that high school, I was able to, take the law pathway, which was a very good pathway. And that just, helped me get into college. And from there, I went to Wesley College in Dover, Delaware. I majored in legal studies. I'm a certified paralegal. Then I've been working in different legal capacities since 2014 when I was able to obtain my first internship at the Federal Public Defender's Office for the District of Delaware. I was working in the habeas corpus unit, working on death penalty cases. So since 2014, I've been in a very, professional capacity working in the legal field. So when I think of city council, that's a legislative position. So that's in my realm. So it's the things I've studied already. And I also, once I graduated from college, I did a year of law school at Widener University in Delaware. So I'm also a father. I have two children, twins, Tori and Torin. They will be 6 years old in July.
Okay.
I'm a business owner. I have a company, Barksdale Beautification Services. It's Barksdale Beautification Services because we started off as a landscaping company, but we kind of bridged off to be more of a moving company now. So I do landscaping, I do full service moving, I do hauling. Also, I do snow removal. We didn't get no snow this year, but I also do snow removal. So, just a young entrepreneur, ready to, just take a leadership role in Baltimore city government.
Wow. And Taurus, one thing, the last time we talked, you said something that really surprised me. You told me that you had quit your job because you were that serious about what you were doing and your plans for the city. You still haven't gone back?
Well, so I was working at Weller Development Company. Weller Development Company is the leading developer for the Port Covington project. I must say, I was privileged to even, land that job down at Port Covington, working as a paralegal. So in January, I resigned from that job because, I took on this, initiative to, run for city council. And
Right.
I knew I had to be more active in my community. I knew I had to be out there more, so that's why, I decided to, quit my job. But even just quitting my job, it just shows how God works because when I quit my job in January, that just set me up to, be prepared for what we did not know was going to, this coronavirus. So
Right.
I was
Right.
already,
Right.
unemployed. And then, when this coronavirus hit, it's not like I didn't get hit off guard. I was already unemployed. So,
Right.
I was prepared
Yeah.
already. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I quit my job in January, and since then my business has been keeping me afloat.
Wow. And the other thing, everybody, for those of you who don't know Taurus, the other thing that he does is you actually help young people, other young people,
Yeah,
financially giving them money and, we lost them for a second. There
I
we
mean,
go. Okay. Financially giving other young people money. It's like you do a lot of things for the young people. Tell us about that.
yeah. So, I started to gain notoriety in the city just from working, with the young men at Squeegee. Just
Mm-hmm.
I was able to once I became a business owner, I was able to leverage my business to help the next person. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Mm-hmm.
moving company. So one day I just needed some help, and it was a last minute job, and I said who can help me, and I just thought of if I go outside, it was the summertime as well. If I go outside, I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to see one of these guys squeegeeing. That's what I
Right.
do.
Right. Right.
Then, once I gave them that first opportunity, I saw how hungry those guys was. So
Mm-hmm.
since then, they always had my support, and they will
Okay.
continue to get my support, even in in city government or how I am now. Even if I'm
Mm-hmm.
in city government, they will have my support even more.
Right.
I'm actually working now with the mayor's office of children's and success. There's a few people over there they're actually trying to recruit 50 guys that squeegee. So I've been talking to a supervisor over there,
I'm
and
sorry, everybody. His it froze up, so he'll be back in just a minute. You
I'm here.
there, Taurus?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think his video is freezing, but hopefully he'll be able to call back in so we can get him back on. Let me just send him a text and let him know. Are you there, Taurus? Because you
I
froze
am.
for a minute. We missed what you were saying about going to the mayor's office.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, I was saying I'm actually working with the mayor's office. I believe of children's success is also no the mayor's squeegee alternative program, and
okay.
they're looking to recruit 50
I'm doing a show.
people that squeegee.
Hmm.
So right now I'm actually working, now to help the mayor's office actually recruit to get some of these young men off the streets. I believe they had about 45, and they're asking for 50 more. So I'm working
Wow.
right now. There's just so much going on. That's every day I'm working.
So they're recruiting young people. They want to recruit young people.
Yeah, the mayor's squeegee alternative program. They're recruiting young people that's squeegeeing right now. I believe 18 to 20.
Wow. 18 to 24.
Yes, so I'm helping with that initiative right now.
Oh wow, that is awesome, Taurus. That's wonderful. And that's stuff that we don't hear about on the news. This is kind of stuff we need to hear about you being a young black male and what you're out there doing. I'm gonna put that on the page.
Yeah.
What you're actually out there doing to help other young people, especially with the squeegee boys, because they get such a bad rap. So I thank you so much for doing that and putting yourself out there to
Yes,
do it. Now, what district are you running in?
I'm running for District 6. I've been in District 6 my whole life. I'm 27 years old. Since I've been able to vote, I've been involved in District 6.
Hmm. Hmm.
I went to elementary school there, but like I said, elementary and middle, but I did not attend high school in District 6 because I had my passion of law and I took that to Northeast Baltimore. But for the most part, I've been in my district my whole life.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your district, like District 6. What is that? What kind of neighborhood is it? And what is it that you want to bring to the residents of District 6?
So District 6 is the third largest district in Baltimore City. It's very diverse and it has very different socio-economic levels. I can start off in Roland Park. We start at the, Roland Park. What is that? Roland Avenue and Cold Spring, that area,
Mhm.
Roland
Mhm.
Park. So, and then we can go down to Park Heights. So you have Roland Park right here, and then probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the most, you go down to Park Heights. Way
Okay.
demographic, socio-economical levels, and
Mhm.
also from Park Heights, we can go down to Dofield, that area. Then
Okay.
Callaway Garrison. Then we have the Liberty area, Windsor Hills. So it's a very, very large district. So yeah, it's very large and diverse.
Wow.
It's a good district.
I'm not in that district, but Taurus, you do so much. I hope you win. I
Yeah.
really do. I want you to win because you do so much out there. Like you're so visible all the time. I'm like, does he go home? Does he sleep? Because
Yeah.
you're always out there doing something. So I really, really hope that you win. And if anybody's listening or you watch this later on and you're in District 6, please support Taurus Barksdale. And so who are you running against? Who are the people like your running mates in that area?
Really, it's really just me against the incumbent, honestly.
Okay.
I think it's some other people in the race, but those people are not, actively out there, the way I am.
Okay.
I don't think they're really known, but I'm just focused on beating the incumbent, and
Okay.
I just believe, I don't speak down. I don't want to say nothing bad, but it's just honestly we're at a time in Baltimore where it's time to move forward, and it's time to
Hmm.
let the younger generation that can connect with these people in the streets, that can connect, build a relationship that can actually, like I said, build a connection. It's just time for
Hmm.
change because what we have been doing in Baltimore has not been working.
Yeah. And Taurus, I have a huge concern right now because we have the coronavirus going on, which is a crisis, okay, all over the world. And for some reason, the crime continues to stay the same way every time, and I really don't have to like listen to the news. I can just go Murder Inc. on Instagram.
Yeah,
And every time you turn around, somebody shot, somebody been stabbed, somebody got stabbed in my neighborhood and died couple weeks ago. I
wow.
mean, it's just like it's all over the city,
Yeah,
and that's really hurtful to me because I was talking to a young person, and the one thing he said to me was he wasn't worried about the coronavirus. And I said, why not? He said, because I have a better chance of surviving the coronavirus than I do being on the streets. And I was like, wow,
yep,
like that to me, when I heard that, but then I heard it again. And I continue to hear that over and over, like you got to be worrying about the streets, not the coronavirus. And
yep.
so when you're out there, are you able to talk to these young people to help them to understand, or do they talk to you about what's going on with them and being on the streets with all this violence?
Yeah. So every day I'm directly boots on the ground in the streets, talking to addicts. If you're an addict,
Mm-hmm.
drugs. If you're just someone watching on the corner, watching out for police, I talk to everybody. And the
Okay.
crime is not going to stop because that's their way of living. That's their way of getting money. Where they don't
Mm-hmm.
have no other alternative. Other alternatives are not being offered. So the crime is
Mm-hmm.
not going to stop. It's regular life to them. If you
Yeah.
come,
Yeah.
Northwest Baltimore, it's almost business as usual. The same people,
Yeah.
normal people, are standing outside. It's the same thing. I mean, even we're in a pandemic right now, but nothing has
Mm-hmm.
changed because that's just simply their way of living. If they don't come
Right.
outside and do what they have to do, they're not going to eat. So
Right.
when I'm talking to these people, I'm just telling them the importance of social distancing, the importance of changing the gloves. People wear those latex gloves and think those are gloves you're supposed to wear throughout the day. It's
Mm-hmm.
something cross contamination. When you wear those,
Right. Right. Right.
you're really supposed to wear those gloves. It's really supposed to be for one task type of thing.
Right. Right.
People
That's
wearing
right.
those same gloves throughout the day, and it's just you're not doing
Mm-hmm.
nothing but spreading germs. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm outside on the streets, while we in this pandemic, I'm just spreading that type of information. We also
Mm,
have in Pimlico a testing site. A lot of people just simply didn't even know that. But when I look at this pandemic, I look at it's still a lack of leadership because I see a lot of updates on Facebook. I see a lot of updates on social media, but a lot of these people that are on the streets, they're not on social media. So
mm-hmm.
when we look at our elected officials, our leaders, we have no one on the streets, educating the public because a lot of
Right, right.
not everybody is not on social media. And
Mm-hmm.
21215, my area, we have the highest amount of cases in Baltimore City, and not
Wow.
once have I seen, even the police. I think the police they're not going to inform the public because the police they feel like these other officials or leaders they're not doing it, so why should they do it? So, but at
Right,
this
right.
point, we really don't have enough people on the ground educating the public, and it's like a revolving cycle. It doesn't matter if we're in a pandemic or just regular life in Baltimore. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
nobody. We don't have boots on the ground helping our people, and that's why I'm here. I'm trying to change that.
Wow, wow. And the thing about it is that we're not losing like the older people. Like the older people are still walking around. We're losing so many of our young people. The young promising, the ones who have the promise. Like you're 27 years old. And so it's guys that are younger than you, Taurus, that have lost their lives already this year. And many of them that lost their lives last year. And I just keep wondering like what is the message? What do we need to do to get out there to really help them to understand, put these guns down and try to resolve? I don't understand it. I don't know if it's gang activity. I don't know if they just walking around with guns and just shooting. I don't know. But it's getting out of hand. It's to the point where people are afraid to go outside and go to the store.
It's almost people are at a loss of hope.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in Baltimore, a lot of people are just simply hopeless. You know,
Yeah.
when you walk outside and you see the amount of vacant houses that you have seen since you've been born. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of just hopelessness. There's no one, there to help you. Some people
Mm-hmm.
they're influenced by the streets. They've been seeing that their whole life. And
Mm-hmm.
it's as if Baltimore had just become such a lawless society. You know,
Mm.
everybody gets away with everything now. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
our leaders that we have in place are failing our communities, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going over and over and over. And even when we look at I can go deep into this. Like even our
Mm-hmm.
contracts, how we distribute, our contracts at the board of estimates. A lot of our
Mm-hmm.
minority contractors are not getting the work. We're getting crumbs. A lot of the people
Mm-hmm.
getting the work are from out of the state, and these out of state
Mm-hmm.
contractors are not hiring our people, in our communities. So like even
Wow.
when I look at Park Heights, I believe we should have, a workforce directly in Park Heights. We have the vacant house
Mm-hmm.
for it. We have the guys standing on the corner for it. And a lot of these guys, when I talk to them, when I talk to the addicts, some addicts will say, if you give me something that'll just keep me from being sick, I will work all day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
people are willing to work. It's just, sometimes we just have to lend a hand. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And I think that we as a city, we got to become more responsible now. The other night I was watching the news and they were talking about the clinic down on North Avenue and Gay
Yeah.
and how they are giving people who are trying to get off of drugs, they just giving them bottles of methadone to take with them now that the coronavirus is going on. But they're finding out that some of them are selling these bottles for $100. A little boy had died from it. I mean, it's like you talk about the leadership in the city, and I'm wondering as a city council person, when you come to the council, what are some of the things that you really want to tackle? Like when you first get in there, what's some of the stuff that you really want to talk about to get their attention, the city council and the mayor?
Yeah. I think first, and I agree with you. With the what is it? Those drugs with the clinics.
Yeah.
Some of those clinics actually do help people, and then
Mhm.
there are some people that abuse the drugs that they get,
Mhm.
and some
Mhm.
people they go to the clinic get their liquid, and they still go back to the heroin that
Right. Right.
they have been
Mhm.
using. So I think we need to lock that down more, get more people involved in that. Actually,
Mhm.
we need more people hands on. But
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
would like to do, as city council, I would like to, help people get jobs, get employment, get livable employment with livable wages. Because
Yeah.
even when we look at a lot of the problems in the city, we don't have no economic development. We don't have
Mm,
our city, our communities are very. When we look at financial literacy, things of that nature. So I would want to fight for my community. First and foremost, jobs and
mm,
actually livable wages, and also I think education is key. Educating for
mm,
trades being back into our schools, because a lot of our
mm,
guys that are graduating from high school, they don't want a regular 9 to 5 that
right.
getting paid minimum wage. If you have a skill, with that skill
Mm,
you can create a business. With that skill, you
yeah.
can always be employed, especially with
Mm,
the amount of work that's going on in Baltimore. We have a
right.
$3 billion industry to fix our infrastructure. Baltimore
Mm,
has the money. We have the
yeah.
money as well. All these vacant houses, something has to change. We're way behind. We should have been had a workforce ready to go right now to
Mm,
build back, renovate a lot of these houses. We don't have that right now.
yeah. Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
me coming into office, we will be starting from square one because we haven't been
Mm,
building nothing up. We haven't built nothing. So we need a
mm,
workforce, a whole training facility of getting our guys ready. That's my main objective. I want to clear the
mm,
streets in my district. I want to see the streets cleared. Even if I'm going to
mm,
someone and asking them, what can I do to help you get off this corner? What
mm,
can I do to help your friends, or how can you motivate your friends to get off this corner? And a lot of these guys,
right.
they simply want a job with a livable wage.
Mm, now, everybody, if you would like to call in, we do have a call in line. If you want to call in and you want to ask Taurus some questions, feel free to call in. You want to call, and the numbers also in the comments is 712-770-5505, and the PIN number is 565-110. If you dial that number, you'll be able to come in and talk to Taurus, ask him some questions. If you do not feel comfortable calling, you can also put your questions in the comments or your comment or whatever, and I'm pretty sure Taurus will be able to answer them for you. Now, my other question, Taurus, because I hear a lot of people getting on our current elected officials. And sometimes I wonder, how much blame can we put on our current elected officials? People like us, the residents, the people that live in Baltimore City, we have to stand up and make a difference. We have to want more. We have to want to be better. We have to want to do better. But our city is getting a bad name because of the crime. And, all they hear is bad stuff about our city. And I wonder how much our elected officials can really do. And since you're on that side of politics, is this something that you think they can really, really do to bring to Baltimore City to kind of create change?
Yeah, I think so, because even in our governmental agencies, they control the money. Baltimore
Mm-hmm.
City has money. That's not get that misconstrued. Baltimore City has a lot of money, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe there's a huge disconnection between the government and the community. So
Mm-hmm.
even in a governmental job, or if I'm a governmental person, I think we need to bring back love back to our communities. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
the last time I seen a block party. We need to
Yeah.
bring back different initiatives to bring unity within our community.
Mm-hmm.
And as an
Mm-hmm.
elected official, you're considered a leader of the city. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, as leaders of the city, they're not bringing unity. They're not bringing the city
Right.
together. It's
Right.
a disconnection.
Right.
Especially in my district, I can go to every block in my district, and they do not know who the representative is for that district.
Wow.
Honest
Wow.
opinion. I can go to so many people,
Wow.
but when I talk about that disconnection, it's just no it's a disconnection. And when people think of who can they go to for a job, a lot of people, feel like they're on their own. I get a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
asking me, I'm a felon. How can I get a job? I don't want to be in the streets. How can I get a job? And
Mm-hmm.
even now with this coronavirus, the NBA is shut down.
Yeah.
A lot of people simply cannot get an ID. So many people
Right.
ask me, I
Right.
need an ID. I don't want to get in the streets right now. I really I
Mm-hmm.
need to get a job, but I can't get an ID. So
Right, right.
we were really unprepared, and this
Yeah, yeah.
virus shows how unprepared we was,
Mhm.
how unprepared we are. Also,
Yeah.
you can walk around. I get 300 meals every day. I take my meals to senior facilities, senior apartments.
Mhm.
At majority of these apartments, a lot of our seniors simply don't have masks, simply don't have
Mm.
gloves. So there's no one going there to check on our seniors. Things of
Mhm.
that nature. I received 42 care packages last week. Me
Wow.
just simply being directly in the community, I decided to check on, one of the senior citizens that I haven't checked on this lady in probably about 2 months. And,
Mhm.
God just sent me to her house. I knocked on her door and I asked her, how was everything going? How
Mhm.
she, and I said, have you eaten anything? She said, no, I haven't eaten in 2 days. And I said, wow,
Wow.
if you haven't eaten in 2 days,
Wow.
how are you able to take your medicine? You know,
Mm.
um, older lady, she's probably about 85, 90 years old. And
Wow. Oh man.
that right there just really, it touched me because it's just, I thought, wow, it's so many other singers in the same position, no
Yeah.
one checking
Yeah.
on them. Even if they do have children, the children might think, they're okay, things of that
Mhm.
nature. But, we also, we should have been had, a program where as though we can check on our senior citizens, you know.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
just showed me, day one, I get into office,
Mhm.
let's get a
Sorry,
directive.
y'all. He's frozen again, but he's bringing up a good point because yeah, because of the coronavirus, you had frozen, so I had just kind of, but because of the coronavirus and people not being able to go out or being afraid to go out, a lot of our seniors are suffering.
Yeah.
Can't cook their food, don't have anybody to help them. So how do you get the food? Is it a company that's donating it to you?
I go through a lot of nonprofits, and I get my food from Mirror's Kitchen Collective. Uh, they're doing an awesome job.
Mm,
About I get 300 meals a day, but I think
wow,
they're cooking probably over 500 meals a day. Other people
wow,
in the communities, get the meals, but I take my meals directly to Northwest Baltimore, and now I have a schedule where I'm going to every senior facility, in my area,
yeah,
and dropping off meals, every day. So
mm,
it's a daily work. We working every day.
yeah,
I also sometimes I just see guys just standing on the corner, and I ask them, do you need something to eat? I go to Belvedere. Belvedere is,
mm-hmm,
another impoverished neighborhood, and
mm-hmm,
sometimes I just pull my truck up there and just ask people, have you eaten today? And a lot of people have not eaten
wow.
today, and I'm
Mm.
just every day,
Wow, Taurus, you're 27, but you act like a older man, like in their 40s or 50s.
you know.
So, what really drives you at 27 years old to do all of the stuff that you're doing?
I'm 27 years old, but I was raised, I don't want to say old school, but I was raised, I guess it is old school.
Mm-hmm.
When I was born, my dad was 50 years old. My dad passed when I was 11. If my dad was still alive,
Mm,
my dad would be 77 years old. My mom,
wow.
mom is currently 69 years old. So I was raised, by the older folks. So that's
Right.
kind of, I guess that's why I'm the way I am. And I'm also, people say, oh, you're a Cancer. No wonder you have such a big heart. I'm a Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
My birthday is June 29th. So, I care about my people. And I think we can
Uh,
definitely do better in Baltimore.
mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's a challenge to myself to help Baltimore do better because we certainly can do
Yeah.
better. So, I just
Yeah.
want to drive because, and I also have so many doubters, but that
Yeah.
drives me because I know, I'm a fighter for my community and I know I could take it to the next step to, really help my community thrive
Yeah.
and become a good community.
Mm, you are awesome. I always write that on your page. Like you were just so awesome because
Thank
I
you.
see you out there, and it's so we don't celebrate young men like you, and it just makes me angry sometimes because I'm like we're constantly saying what the young men your age don't do. But then we
Yeah,
have somebody like you, educated, a father. You're out there in the community. You're feeding the elderly people, making sure the people on the streets are eating. So I just want to celebrate you right now.
yeah,
For all that you're doing. I really appreciate it. And I really do. Like, I wish I could vote for you. I'm gonna be pushing for you to win. But how is that going as far as because I know they moved the election date. Are people being advised about? Because I think that's kind of confusing people too. Can you explain to us like what's going on with elections and the voting process and all of that because of the coronavirus?
Yeah. I would like to say thank you for your compliments and everything.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
even a lot of people are, familiar, or people they do know that now is going to be a mail-in election. Majority of the people I talk to, their biggest question is when are they going to get their ballots. But other than
Mhm.
a lot of people, they know, it's going to be a mail-in election. But like you said, yeah,
Okay.
I'm a young man, our young men my age, we're at risk right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think for the city to see a young person actually stepping up to be a leader, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I honestly think it would be a disgrace for the community if the community cannot vote me into City Hall.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not doing the things I do. I'm not doing it, just for to become a councilman. Because before I even thought of becoming a councilman, I've been in the community. So this
Mhm.
work expanded out before I even had thoughts of becoming a councilman. And
Right. Right.
things I'm doing now, it just goes to show the type of person I am. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I honestly, before I even became a candidate, I went down to my district representative. I went down to her office and had a meeting with her in December.
Mhm.
I went down there to have a meeting because I had so many concerns. And
Mm.
from that meeting, I left. I didn't leave hopeful. I left unhopeful. So
Wow.
that
Wow.
even that meeting, just feeling like things will not change. Things will go
Mhm.
on, the same way. And as we're seeing things are going on the same way, that just I
Mhm.
left the meeting knowing, yeah, I gotta jump into this race because we have absolutely too many issues, for
Mhm.
someone to go unopposed. So
Right.
I
Right.
left that meeting knowing I was going to run for city council.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And now how now your mom is still alive, so how does she feel about you running for city council?
Can you repeat that, please?
I said I know your mom must be super excited about who you are
Yeah.
and what you're doing because I would be really proud. So how's she doing with all of this?
My mom, she's not really an emotional person. I think she doesn't
I
try
think
to
his
hide.
his did you hear did you hear me? I was
Yeah.
saying your mom, yeah, your mom must be super proud. So how's she doing with all of this, you running for office and
Yeah.
everything?
My mom, she's not really emotional. She really doesn't show her emotions, but I know she's very proud of me.
Mm-hmm.
At first she was telling me, not to do it because she know how, how corrupt of a city Baltimore is. She was,
Yeah, yeah.
but when she saw my passion and how passionate I am, how I am about what I want to do, that's when she's really a big supporter of mine, a huge supporter.
Wow. Yeah, and I think as a mother, because I have a son as well, I think as a mother, our biggest fear is that we don't want to lose our sons,
Yeah. Yep.
and so but I definitely keep you in prayer because I think that's a fear for all mothers who have sons, especially in this city. We do not want to lose our sons, and so the fact that you're putting yourself out there, to us is kind of risky, but we're happy for you because you're doing what you love to do and not really worried about anything else but taking care of the people in the community. So I really commend you for that. And how are your children doing?
The children, they're great. They're with me every day.
Okay.
Even I try my best to not try to have them out in public, but they,
Hmm.
they're so adamant. They're like, Daddy, I want to come with you, Daddy. Let's help people out. Let's go serve the people. Like it's now, and they want to do it. They want to serve. So it's
Oh,
like
wow.
I don't want to tell them no because they want to do a good thing, but at the same time, especially in this pandemic, I don't really want them exposed.
Right.
So
Right.
when I'm
Right.
out in public a lot, sometimes I just let them. I play a video on my phone, a learning video, and let them watch the learning
Hmm.
video while I'm out in the public. But I
Yeah.
try to not have them, exposed too much anymore. But they really, they love to serve. They love to serve.
Wow. That's awesome because you're teaching them what your parents taught you. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. And how is the community, like your community around you, how are they responding with you running?
um, the community is I feel great, because a lot of the community, I'm getting a great response. The only, I can be honest, I'm not getting a good response from like community association presidents. That's about it. You know,
Okay.
probably I would say in Park Heights, community association presidents.
Mm.
Other than that, the
Sorry,
community.
y'all. Y'all know we're live and everybody's on the internet right now, so he may go in and out, but he'll come back on. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Taurus. We had lost you for a second.
yeah, I was saying, the community is really behind me, especially
Mm-hmm.
my community, where I grew up at. My whole block, everybody is rooting for me, and it's like they know me. I've been there my whole life.
Yeah.
I see a lot of my teachers that taught me in school, and they're
Wow.
just to see, their former student, in this capacity. So my
Mm-hmm.
community is really rooting me on. It's just a few, community association presidents that's,
Mm-hmm.
really not, giving me no support. But other than that, I feel good.
Good, good, good. Keep up the positive attitude too, because you really are making a difference. And there's a lot of young people who are looking at you,
Yeah.
and you are showing them that you can be good and there is something positive that you can do in Baltimore City. So thank you for that. Now your platform that that you're on, we talked about some of the things you would do, but what are you actually running on? Like when you're going out to talk to people, what is it that you're running on your platform that you're sharing with everybody?
So first, I think it starts with education.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's the key to changing Baltimore, becoming more educated.
Mm-hmm.
It's learning a skill or going to college.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
in Baltimore City, we have over 100,000 people over the age of 25 without their high school diploma or
How
GED.
many people did say that again? How many
Over
people?
over 100,000 people over the age of
What?
25. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
When you look at
Wow.
over 100,000 people over the age of 25 without a high school diploma or a GED, that in itself speaks of poverty. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Mm.
I
Oh
believe
my goodness.
education is key, pushing for better schools, quality education. That's first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost, and also jobs and access to resources.
Mm-hmm.
I have a job platform that I created. I'm also a job recruiter. I'm a recruiter for GED programs as well. Um, my platform is Baltimore Jobs on Instagram. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what I do with that platform is post a lot of different jobs, um, GED programs, different
Mm-hmm.
resources. So that platform is actually works. It helps people, get jobs. I just
Mm-hmm.
did a new program now where I'm helping individuals get a professional resume. So many people
Okay. Wow,
have
Taurus.
a
Oh my
good resume,
goodness.
but that resume can be better. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
now, people get that resume. So with that platform, you know, every day so many people reach out to me. Oh, because you posted this, I got employed. I found employment. Even in the
Mm.
pandemic, I'm helping people, find employment. So
Yeah.
different initiatives like that, and also I'm already like as a citizen, I have already partnered with the mayor's office of employment development, on different programs and different, job fairs. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
before this coronavirus had come upon us, I was planning a big, job fair for my.
Wow.
I connected with the Enoch Pratt Library, and I
Mm-hmm.
also connected with the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. We were going to do a huge job fair in Park Heights
Oh
because we
wow.
really need it. So,
Mm-hmm.
jobs and access to resources, that's another part of my platform. And the last part of my platform I've been talking about is cleaner communities. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as a councilman, I will be conducting a monthly community cleanup in
Mm-hmm.
District 6 because
Mm-hmm.
I believe with a monthly community cleanup, we can, stay on top of the trash. Baltimore is a very filthy city, and
Mm-hmm.
I've become a bit frustrated that even during this pandemic, a lot of our cleaning services have been cut. Um,
Mm.
as filthy
Wow.
as Baltimore City is, I believe the last one of the last things that should be cut is, the picking up of trash because
Right. Exactly.
that's a public health issue, with
Right.
trash, going on the streets. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen a lot of wind lately. We've got a lot of rain lately.
Mm-hmm.
With this
Mm-hmm.
rain and everything, a lot of this trash goes directly into our sewer system. So,
Right. Right. Right.
the picking up of trash collection, that with that being suspended, has been very frustrating to me.
Mm. And what is exactly now? Why I'm trying to understand why has it been suspended? What's going on?
So basically, from what I'm hearing, a lot of the DPW workers, they are on call for, I think for like a sewage backup, something like that. They're on call. So they're not working right now, but they're on call. In my opinion, I believe the city cut those services to, save money because they were spending a lot of overtime, for those alley clean with the mayor's cleanup campaign.
Right, right.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. And because a lot of people are complaining about the rats and all kinds of stuff going on. It's really sad when you sit and have a discussion and talk about it to know that all of this stuff is going on in our city.
So
It's just too much.
even with the rats, the rat abatement that has been suspended as well.
Oh wow.
So things like that should not be suspended. And also,
Mm,
back to cleaner communities. As a councilman, I would, advocate. Now we have haulers are able to dump for free now, and
mm,
honestly, I believe I sparked that because I did a community cleanup and they tried to charge me to dump trash. And,
wow.
I called Brandon Scott. He was able to call down to that dumping station and they allowed me to dump that for free. But
Hmm.
a week later, Mayor Jack Young made it free for all haulers to dump trash for free now. And
Mm,
when we look at so much trash in our communities, the illegal dumping, I'm a hauler. I understand
wow.
why people are doing these things.
Mm,
I have a 10 by 15 box truck. I take that truck to the Northwest transfer station. I could just have a mattress on that truck. They will not allow me
mm,
to put that trash there because the size of the truck. I could have I could have, a bed frame on there. They will not allow me to dump there just because of the size of the truck. That to me is
wow.
an issue because with I have a 16-foot truck. With that truck, the only place you can dump trash is out Curtis Bay
Mm,
at the landfill. So,
mm,
a lot of people look at why would I drive all the way from West Baltimore all the way to, Curtis Bay just to dump trash?
mm,
That's gas, and then I'm gonna have to, pay to dump. So
yeah.
a lot of issues that the community does not know regarding just how to discard trash that that we need to find solutions to those issues. And
Right.
myself, I know the solutions because I'm a hauler. So I know in a city council position, I will certainly have, and not if in my neighborhood, but the whole city much more cleaner because
Mm,
I know exactly what it takes.
right. 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 Wow, Taurus, you making my head spin. I wasn't expecting all of this. I didn't know, like when you don't live in certain places or you on the other side of town, you don't know what's going on over there. But wow, I had no idea. I had
Yep.
no idea. Oh my goodness! And your sister said our family. This is Nadine. She
Yeah.
said our family is super proud of my brother. I
Yeah.
know that's right, Nadine. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him too. And we have William Lassane. He's the other host that's on this What Up Baltimore show. I think he's walking around. So
No,
I'm gonna let
I'm in the car. Thank you,
you
man.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I'm in the car.
okay, because I brought you into the conversation and let so you can talk to Taurus as well.
What's up,
Taurus,
good brother?
yeah,
How you
he's
doing? How
running
you doing?
for
Good evening.
District 6.
Good. What's up, family?
How you doing? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, man. That's a powerful situation you stepping into, man. You that District 6, man. How do you feel? First off, good evening. Good evening. I'm in Zone 15, Lower Park Heights. Which part of District 6 did you grow up in?
Oh, that's perfect. If you're in Lower Park Heights, that's part of the district. But I grew up
Absolutely.
in the Forest Park neighborhood.
Okay. Okay.
I've been in Forest Park my whole life. We still also own property, on
Okay.
that side. And now
That's what's up.
I've been on both sides of the tracks. Now,
Absolutely.
as an adult, I spend
Yes,
more
sir.
time in Park Heights now as an adult. So I've been in
Yes,
Park
sir.
Heights, the Park Lane neighborhood for the past 10 years now.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I've been on both sides of the tracks.
Uh huh.
Yep.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That's
Yep.
what's up.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, I'm definitely proud to have you. Repping, and doing all that you can do to help this part of the community, man. This part of West Baltimore, man.
Mhm.
I appreciate you running. I'm biased, man. I got. If I can be honest, man, I'm biased, man. I've been a Sharon Green Middleton fan for many years. If I can be honest with you, but a like you said, I think that at the same token, there's a new wave coming, new blood coming, and I think it's incumbent upon our elders, to teach the younger folk, and if the younger folk have what it takes to take the baton and the mantle, I would love to see them to get the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta be honest. I've been a resident of Park Heights for over 25 years, which is the majority of my life. I'll be 32 in December. So, Park Heights, man, is near and dear to my heart. But like I said, man, if there's a young person, a young brother who, wants to serve, and I have seen you serve, I've heard your name, I've seen the community cleanup that you've done. So, man, I support you. I support what you're doing. I support your vision and your fire. I honestly am the type of person that I want the best representative for Baltimore's any city council districts. But if you can come in and do the job, then there's no problem with the community supporting you. And what I would say is that we're going to hold you accountable just like anybody else. Right. If you don't do the job in an effective and efficient manner, I would hold you accountable just like I hold my other elected officials accountable that are in office currently. So I think, man, it's not about just continuing to vote in the same people, but it's about for anybody who votes. And this will be the last thing I said. I'll let you go. For anybody who votes, we need to vote in individuals who are going to best represent us and what our concerns and our issues are in this particular district or this particular zip code. And so that's what needs to happen. So, I definitely want to hear more about your platform. You have a mighty strong name, Taurus, and of the famous Barksdale family. So, definitely I'm looking forward to hearing more about your platform.
Yeah, and William, I don't know, follow him, because I said earlier in the show, I'm wondering when he goes to sleep, because every time I look on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, he's out there working. He's out there with the Squeegee Boys.
Absolutely.
He's out there with the young people. So
he was, hey Taurus, weren't you just on Righteoustown Road in Cold Spring recently?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I definitely seen you. I think you were doing a spot for, I think it was Fox 45, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, right.
You had your black jacket on and your black gloves.
Yeah.
The brother is definitely always working, and that's why I said that we have to support individuals who are working on our behalf and who legitimately are invested and who care about the community. And, in my opinion, like I said, I don't have any problem with any competition. And if you can bring what it takes, great, cool. I will support that. My thing is this: I wish, in a perfect world, I would love to see older politicians and stalwarts mentor and groom and step out of the way for younger people to take a hold. I just called my councilwoman. I also called a good brother of mine, Leon Pinkett, who's in the West Side, and called him before my Elijah Cummings, dear brother Elijah Cummings, passed away. I just think it's incumbent upon our elders, man, to show us the way, because it takes relationships, it takes finances, it takes raising money, it takes a lot of things. We can have the heart, we can have the know-how, we can have the grind and the hustle, but we got to put everything together in order to be, as effective and as efficient as we want to be. Would you agree, Brother Barksdale?
Yeah, I certainly agree. And also, circling back to Park Heights, I believe Park Heights is missing, accountability. Park Heights is also missing a strong voice. Park Heights, millions of dollars have come through Park Heights, and the accountability for where this money has gone, there's really zero accountability. And we have gone through this for many of years, decades, with millions of dollars coming inside of Park Heights that we unaccounted for. So also, probably back 4 or 5 years ago, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, under the Rollins Blake administration, a lot of people, were moved out of Park Heights. A lot of people were forced out of Park Heights. We still
was that a part of the redevelopment plan? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Was that a part of the Many people will call it gentrification.
Right.
I'm blanking on the corporation that was spearheading. It was like a Park Heights, a 10-year redevelopment master plan for
Right.
Park Heights.
Right. So even with that, we still have families in Park Heights right now still fighting for their homes, still fighting to keep owning. They lost ownership because the city, illegally deeded a lot of houses into the city's ownership.
Okay.
So we still have people fighting right now with those type of issues. And
Yes, sir.
our current elected official has not been there to help these people. I have
Okay.
talked to so many people directly, in this type of position. So when I see
Yes, sir.
things like that, that's a problem.
Yes, sir.
Especially when some citizens are, Vietnam veterans,
Yes,
still
sir.
fighting to keep ownership of their homes. So,
Mhm.
different issues like that.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I think Park Heights could certainly use, a stronger advocate. Also, I think last week, about a $400 project just was awarded to another, not minority contractor. From what I'm hearing, it was a Jewish developer that got this big amount of land in Park Heights. And,
Okay.
when we look at different agreements like that, those agreements do not come with community benefits agreements. It doesn't come with different agreements to, get the community this certain amount of jobs to work on this project. So,
Was this a housing deal? Well, I mean, was this a $400 million
yeah,
housing deal?
it was a $400,000 deal.
$400,000.
Yeah,
Was this what? I'm sorry.
It was a $400,000 deal for land in Park Heights.
Okay. Now, with this said land, do we know what the future of this land will be? Do we know if individuals, like you said, in the agreement, was it, okay, you have to hire a certain number of, let's say, minorities or a certain number of people from Park Heights? Just wondering what was do you know some of the specifics or the details of the agreement? And has this particular developer been awarded many contracts before?
So this developer did do some work previously in Park Heights, and the community did not benefit off of those projects.
Okay.
So here we go again. 2020, the same developer is getting more in Park Heights, and we're under the same type of deal. So
Gotcha.
when I've worked in these different capacities, with community benefits agreements. I was a paralegal for a real estate development company. So, I understand, these different community benefits agreements, different agreements for the community. And right now, agreements are not, Park Heights are missing a lot of these type of agreements. And that's an issue to me, because when we have these developmental projects that, involve large amounts of money, that's jobs right directly in our community. You can leave out your door and go directly to your job. And a lot of people are missing out on those type of opportunities.
Yes, sir. Can I ask you to speak on? Now that's a valid point. I definitely feel where you're coming from. I know you mentioned education when I first came on, and I would start listening to you. How do you feel about Park Heights losing Green Spring or Roland Patterson? Lastly, it was called KIPP, You Dream of Village Academy, or Dr. Martin Luther King Elementary Middle. I think we lost about 3 schools. We lost Northwestern Senior High School in the area. How do you feel about those schools being lost? And do you like what you're seeing with the 21st century schools on Pimlico? And, how do you feel about stalwart schools being lost in the community? How do you feel about, secondarily, how do you feel about Sinai being one of the biggest employers in Park Heights? Additionally, and lastly, and the racetrack. What those things that I would say are stalwarts in the Park Heights community. How do you feel about those things being managed, or maybe those schools being lost, those jobs being lost, or students being dispersed, as well as Sinai and its employment to the community at large?
Yeah. So with a lot of those schools that's closing, they're saying the population or the amount of students has dropped. So with the amount of students dropping, it would probably be more financially smart, to put the resources in, another school rather than having, students spread out at different schools with, low attendance rates. So, I believe it is an issue with people to get, used to again. because some people, you know, they don't want their children. They're used to their children going to Dr. Martin Luther King School, and now they have to go Edgecombe Circle, Edgecombe Elementary School. So even, you know, with the traveling, you know, once things like that, you know, get figured out how to, you know, adequately, you know, get these children in school, I think everything, you know, will, you know, play out in a good way. But I was a big fan of Kip Ujima. I was a big fan of that school.
Absolutely.
I'm not too sure why Kip closed down. It probably was also because of, you know, a decrease in, you know, the amount of students. But
I would also say, go ahead, I'm sorry. I'll let you finish. I apologize.
Also, I like the 21st century schools. One thing I do not like about the 21st century schools is the parking. Pimlico Elementary School, the parking is terrible in the morning and when you pick up students. Also,
and Arlington is not the greatest.
Yeah, Arlington and also Calvin Rodwell. I probably dislike that one the most. Calvin Rodwell was an elementary school. You made it into a middle school, but you didn't expand the parking. So that could be, Calvin Rodwell, it's almost like an accident waiting to happen, you know. Yeah, but you know, the 21st century schools, they're wonderful schools, but I think we could have, you know, did much better with the parking. But what I see from a lot of these schools, next question was.
The next part of the question was, how do you feel about the Preakness being in Park Heights, and do you think it's enough economic benefits to not just to really, I'm gonna speak to Lower Park Heights, because and I don't say this derogatorily, so I want this to be, you know, I want to say it the correct way. Individuals who are historically from Park Heights, we call above Northern Parkway the Jewish community. We have another name for it, but I'll just stick to the more politically correct term, the Jewish community. And it seems as though the Jewish community gets a lot of attention. They have tons of wonderful buildings. They have neighborhood security. They have. It seems that the economic dollars are really focused on the Jewish part of our community at Upper Park Heights.
Right.
Northern Parkway and down, to Mondawmin, it does not seem that, you know, the investment has been in Lower Park Heights. So I'm just wondering, you know, when you take over, you know, if you're blessed to take over the 6th district, you know, how could we do something different with the economic disparity between, and it's only one block difference, really. It's only a one block difference between the upper part of Northern Parkway and the lower part of Northern Parkway. And how do you feel about Sinai's, you know, hiring practices? Do you feel like Sinai has done as much as they could in the community? And, you know, additionally, how do you feel about the Preakness, you know, being in Park Heights? Do you feel like those slot dollars or that gambling money goes towards helping all of the 6th district, all of Park Heights?
So I believe the Preakness should, you know, stay in Pimlico and Park Heights because the history aspect of it, you know. But I personally, you know, I've never watched horses races. I've never been to the Preakness. So, you know, I really don't care too much for it. But I know the historical aspect of it. So it's important for it to stay in Park Heights. But, you know, with a lot of the money, I believe the state invested $375 million into rebuilding Pimlico. When I look at that, I just think personally, and, you know, just coming from Baltimore City, why can't we just even invest $100 million into a dirt bike track? You know, we race horses, but we can't race, you know, our dirt bikes. You know, in my opinion, I believe we have the next motocross riders in Baltimore City.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes. That we have been under. We have never given our young black men an opportunity to actually, you know, have an opportunity to actually become a professional and, you know, have a career. You know, so when I'm investing $375 million into a Preakness, I mean, I don't really care about that. I'm looking to invest into my people because I know historically we have not benefited off of the Preakness. And, you know, it probably will not.
Absolutely.
Change. So, you know,
yeah, you're right.
I'm looking for different avenues to invest into our young black men in Baltimore City. And I think investing into a dirt bike park would be an awesome investment for Baltimore City. I agree. It will also bring a lot of jobs, and it will give people something to want to do. So,
yes, sir. I 1000% agree. I mean, you got the 12 o'clock boys and different entities. You know, the young brothers down at the bottom of Park Heights, past Dietz and Watson, by the Hip Hop Chicken, by the Drew Hill Park. They like to ride their bikes on Sundays and things like that. And so I think that's a phenomenal idea. I've heard it talked about.
Yeah.
I've heard it talked about for years, but I've never seen it actualized.
Right.
And I think we have enough land and we have enough space to actually do it. But like I said, I've just only heard it talked about in former administrations, like maybe the Dixon administration, possibly the O'Malley administration. But going forward, I've never heard it talked about on a grand scale and actually materialize into something. I know on Sundays they might shut down a couple of streets, or allow guys to ride or do tricks right there by Drew Hill Park. But outside of that, I've never seen it actually materialize, and I think that it can. I think that if we get enough support for it, and it's something productive, and it's something positive, like you said, it would be a lot of jobs created. It would give young people something positive to do in the summertime. They wouldn't have to ride in the streets. I think it would be really transformational. Also, additionally, how do you feel about the Squeegee Boys? How do you feel that enterprise is going? And just our young people, ages 18 to 24. What could we do better to serve them? And then 18 and down, and then even lastly, 25 and up, and even our seniors. Those four major different segments of age populations. What could we do better to serve our very young people, our 18 to 24, our 25 to 35, and then 35 and up into our seniors? What could we do specifically to help those different populations?
Yeah. So even with our young people in Baltimore City, I believe.
I think there he is. He's back.
With our young people in Baltimore City, I believe if we want to change Baltimore, it's going to start with our children. So when I see a lot of the Squeegee Boys, a lot of these young men have dropped out of high school. They don't have a high school diploma. They don't have, a GED. So that issue in and itself, the problem with in our education system, just keeping our young people in school.
Yes, sir.
So with Squeegee Boys, a lot of them, they want an opportunity. And right now we need boots on the ground. We have to meet them where they are at.
Absolutely.
We have to come directly to them and try to get them in different programs and give them different opportunities. I think my whole goal is to have them off of the streets, have them off the streets and not being an influence to another young person that think this might be a good way to, make some quick money. So, my whole goal, you wasn't on the show earlier, but even if you probably heard about me, I gained notoriety just helping with the Squeegee Boys. And I'm working with the mayor's office of the mayor's Squeegee Alternative Program, with helping recruit 50 more Squeegee. I don't like to see Squeegee Boys, but let's go off the Squeegee Boys.
I think it's just because the general population, I use it interchangeably because the general population can identify. That's the only reason I use it.
Yeah. But now I'm actually, it's just so much going on. I'm recruiting now for the mayor's Squeegee Alternative Program to help get 50 of them off the streets so that they can get employment within our government doing something.
Yes, sir.
And also, even now, in our pandemic, the Baltimore City government has hired a lot of Squeegee Boys to give out food, distribute food. And when I've seen probably about 2 or 3 Squeegee Boys that I have worked with personally.
Yes, sir.
In the program.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's
let me go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say because we're at the end of the program, but William, go ahead and get you one more question in. But we're at the end of the program.
Well, let me say this, brother. I look forward to following you and following up with you after this, and seeing how we can sit down and how I can be a support for you and how I can continue to push you, because I want to see you go as far as the Creator has for you to go. I'm extremely proud of you, brother. I'm happy to see another black man that looks like myself leading his family and leading his community. So, brother, whatever I can do to support you and to just continue to push and propel you, I'm willing to do. I'm just happy to see another millennial holding it down. And so I'm thankful for you. I just pray for you and your family, man, that you guys continue to be safe during this pandemic. But, man, listen, don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep pushing. And don't worry about the haters and the naysayers and those folks who don't support you. You have enough support from your people and from your community, and your passion and your love for the community shines through. Lastly, and I'll just say this last point before I let you go. I always tell Miss Charlene's my godmother and the host of the show, but I always tell her I look for authentic, real people, and that's what I see and that's what I feel. I'm emulating and emanating through this screen and through this conversation. So I applaud you. Kudos, standing O's, bravos. Just keep going, brother. And don't, like I said, don't worry about the ones who don't support you. They'll see in the end. When we get to the end of this, out of this pandemic, they'll see in the end that you are a force to be reckoned with, and that you are here to promote positivity, and you want the best for your community. So I'm in support of you, brother. And like I said, we'll coordinate after this call to see how I can continue to support you going forward.
Yes, sir, man. I definitely appreciate it. 100%.
No problem, man.
Yeah, and I want to say, well, Taurus, I'm gonna give you the final say after I make these couple of announcements. But everybody, starting tomorrow, while the pandemic is going on, first of all, let me tell you what's going on. While the pandemic is going on, I am doing free life, free spiritual coaching, because a lot of people are going through a lot right now. So if you would like to have free life coaching or free spiritual coaching, you can inbox me, and I will get you set up. I'm getting kind of full right now, so make sure y'all call in time. Also, Troy Jones has a men's group. If you go on Facebook and you look up 108 Organization, Troy Jones has an awesome, awesome men's group that he's been doing for about 5 or 6 years now. And he's actually now doing free sessions on Zoom. They're private sessions. He'll give you the number that you can call into. He's actually doing free sessions during the pandemic, but it's just for men. He is awesome. So guys, if you need somebody to talk to or vent, or you're trying to learn how to be better and do better, that's the guy. Go to 108 Organization and you'll see his announcement, or you could go on to Troy R. Jones and you'll see it on his page as well. Last thing, starting tomorrow while the pandemic is going on, because we got to push our people, I'm going to be doing a show called Baltimore's Entrepreneurs. So I am going to be spotlighting anybody who has something going. Now, it has to be legit, y'all. Anybody has something going on right now, I'm going to be having you come on the show. You will get 20 minutes to tell us about your product or your craft. It'll be a way you can give your Cash App or PayPal. You'll be able to do all of that. So this is a way of us keeping together as a community, and really trying to do some things to push our community and help to push one another up. So that show starts tomorrow. Each time it'll be 3 people per show. I have the 3 people for tomorrow. You may know some of these names. I got Tyra Gregory. I have Raheem. I think his last name is Mashur. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And then I have Paula Jones. So these 3 people will be on tomorrow. We're going to be live. We're streaming. We're on YouTube. We're like streaming all over the place right now. And so they'll be able to come on and tell us what they're doing. And so this is the year. I'm telling y'all, don't get upset about the coronavirus, because for some of you, you need to sit down, because this is your time to focus on what your real gift is and what you're really, really supposed to be doing. So use the downtime wisely. Now to Taurus Barksdale, I want to say to you, brother, keep doing what you are doing. I am so proud of you, like 1,000% proud of you. Whenever you want to come on my platform, you are welcome. All you got to do is send me a text. I will set it up. Even if it's a day that I'm not on and you need to come on and talk, let me know. I promise you, I will set it up. And, just know that this is your platform. I'm here for you. That's the most I can do for you, since I can't vote for you. But, just always know that my phone line is open. Anything that I can help you with, Taurus, please let me know. And I really do mean it. Because I'm just really proud of you, and I wish you all of the best. And Toyin said, shout out to Taurus Barksdale. I guess that's somebody that you know, Toyin. So with that being said, what do you want to leave us with before we end tonight?
One thing I wanted to, I almost slipped my mind, but one thing I wanted the announcement that I wanted to, make was on May 16th, 2020. I have challenged all the small haulers to a day of community service. We
Okay.
know, like during this pandemic, the Baltimore city government has shut down, the cleaning of our alleys, of our streets. So I'm now challenging, small haulers to actually give us a day of community service to actually let's show the city that we're capable of cleaning up. Let's show the city that we can be an asset to the city.
Right, right, right.
Hopefully we can keep dumping free. So let's show the city we are actually an asset to the city. So that's one thing. May 16th, Small Haulers Cleanup Challenge. I just want to tell everybody that's watching, stay hopeful, stay prayed up. We're in a pandemic, but this shall end. So we will get over this. But also, I would
Right.
just encourage everybody. Think smart, vote smart.
Yes. And
Yes, sir.
Taurus, please be safe. Everybody, keep this young man in your prayers while he's out and about. Can you give us your contact information so people can follow you, or even if you have, is it any way that they can cash app you, or how are you taking donations?
I can take Cash App donations. I also take political donations. You can contact me directly. My phone number is 443-473-9984. Facebook, you can send me a direct message on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Taurus Barksdale. You can find me on Twitter at Taurus Barksdale. So you can find me easily. I'm always in Park Heights, so I always make myself accessible. So
Okay. And if you could, Taurus, send me all of that information so I could put it on the page, the
Okay.
What Up Baltimore page, so everybody can have it. So y'all, let's give him our support. And again, Toyin put May 16th on there and said, I will spread the word to the haulers Facebook group. Thank you so much, Toyin. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody that came on tonight. Kudos to Taurus for everything that you're doing. I wish you well.
Absolutely.
Please know I'm here. William and I are here. We're in your corner supporting you. This platform is always open to you. And everybody, I'm asking you to join us tomorrow night because that will be the entrepreneur night. And we will get to celebrate the people in our city. If don't nobody else celebrate the people in our city, What Up Baltimore is going to celebrate the people that live in our city. So tomorrow night is the starting night. We'll be on the What Up Baltimore page. We'll be on YouTube. We'll be on all these other different pages from 8 to 9 p.m. And they get to come on and share what they're doing. So, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Godson, I love you. Be safe.
Love
I
you
see you
back.
out in the streets. Be safe
Oh,
while you're
yeah,
out
most
there.
definitely.
All right,
Most
Taurus,
definitely.
be safe. I'll talk to you guys. Everybody have a great night. Hopefully, we'll see you all tomorrow on What Up Baltimore as we talk to our entrepreneurs. Everybody take care, and I will talk to you soon. All right, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Y'all have a blessing. Love y'all. Peace.
Love you too. Take care.
All right. All right. You too.